Hello everybody, my name is Pixel and welcome to the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. Today we are going to be taking a quick look at the Gothic playable teaser, which is basically an early prototype of a remake of an old RPG that was released way back in 2001. The original Gothic managed to amass a fairly sizable fanbase in spite of its incredibly janky gameplay and rather cheesy storytelling. It's one of those games that could likely be referred to as a cult classic, and maybe it would have done a little bit better if it wasn't for the timing. It released just 5 months prior to the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind and only a few months after Baldur's Gate 2 and Diablo 2. Basically, this was a time where many a great fantasy game was just cutting their teeth, and unfortunately Gothic kinda got left behind, even if it did manage to spawn numerous sequels and form the foundations of franchises such as Risen, Arcania, and most recently Elix. So the question is, do we need or want a remake to Gothic? This is something that THQ Nordic is hoping to find out by gathering feedback from the fans of the series that decide to check out this early prototype. If gamers enjoy it and there's enough interest, it looks like we could see a complete remake in a couple of years' time. However, if the feedback shows that gamers don't like the idea of a remake or just don't care either way, it's unlikely to enter full development.
Oh, god damn it.
Honestly, I don't think I've seen this sort of strategy used before, at least not on this scale. On one hand, it's really cool to have a developer/publisher that is willing to put out a prototype to the public, something that seldom, if ever, happens. But on the other, it makes me question if this is really about gauging interest. It makes me wonder if maybe this is an attempt to convince themselves to not cancel a game that they've already got deep-rooted concerns about. The reason why I say this is because from what I can see in this prototype, the game appears to be well into development at this point. You see, the reason why I don't think this sort of thing happens too often is because prototypes are normally far more basic, especially in terms of their presentation, than we see here. Over the years, I've been very lucky to have had the opportunity to visit quite a few development studios and get hands-on with early prototypes of games. I've seen a couple of games at this point that are playable from pretty much start to finish before they even have working character models, and yet here we can see animated cutscenes, detailed environments and arted UI elements, as well as hear voice acting, sound effects and even music. I mean, sure, there is a chance that most of this content is simply placeholder and that once the developers have been given the green light, much of it will be improved or replaced. However, with this franchise being famously janky, it's difficult to get an idea of where the quality bar is actually being set. If it sticks with tradition, then the presentation on display in this demo would be fairly accurate to what I believe we could expect from a full-blown remake. To be fair, the assets are not nearly as bad as they're likely going to look in this video. Many of the issues that I see with the presentation are mostly down to post-processing, overdone VFX, and the overall lack of polish rather than the assets themselves. I doubt the presentation is going to come anywhere close to what we see in games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Witcher 3, or even Dragon Age Inquisition, but neither is the game's budget, so that should make sense. Like I mentioned earlier, Gothic has a sizable fanbase, so there is a chance that if THQ Nordic and THQ Barcelona can get those people on side, that there is going to be a future for this title. If you want to get your hands on this prototype for yourselves, then all you need to do is pretty much own any game from Piranha Bytes over on Steam. This also works retroactively, so you could buy a game right now and it will still grant you access.
You're still alive. Congratulations on surviving your first day.
The teaser demo itself is only around an hour long, so unless you're a fan of the Gothic series, I don't really recommend you committing spending money on it unless you're a big fan of the fantasy setting, or maybe you're just interested in playing a game's prototype, or you just really want to support THQ Nordic. Just please understand that it is lacking optimization right now, so the performance can be pretty poor. Combat is also an area where I feel the game loses me. It uses that multiple stance system that was recently popularized by Ubisoft's For Honor, and I really don't like it. Nothing against the system itself or even this game's implementation, it's simply just not my cup of tea, and like I said, I don't like it. To be completely honest, it's most likely a decent system, I just really suck with it, so in turn I find it incredibly frustrating to use, especially on mouse and keyboard, hence why I switched over to controller during this playthrough. Barring that though, I actually found the game to be extremely playable and as a whole rather interesting. However, if you was to ask me if I think that they should commit some more resources to completing this Gothic remake, I would unfortunately have to say no, with the primary reason being the timing. Not only is it incredibly difficult to produce anything that's going to come close to that standard set by The Witcher 3, I mean, there's only really been Assassin's Creed that has even attempted it in recent years, but also because an additional couple of years of development is likely going to land it right in the firing line of a new game set in the Witcher universe, an Assassin's Creed game, The Elder Scrolls 6, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, and the recently revealed Godfall, as well as MMORPGs which now cover a lot of the same bases such as Crimson Desert and Amazon Game Studios' New World.
Oh, yeah. Oh, finally. I hope there's no scavenger around. I couldn't fight with this.
Normally, I am all for a really decent middle tier game to sink my teeth into. I think they're some of the best games on the market, but there is a reason why so few studios are developing these kind of open world RPGs these days. It's kind of like why very few games attempt open world cities, because games like GTA set the bar far too high for most developers to compete in. I'm sure that there's a whole bunch of people out there that are very excited to see the potential for a remake to a much loved series. I just don't think it's the best use of THQ's resources, bearing in mind the risk posed by many competitors that will be likely smothering its launch window. With all that said, let's be honest, I'm just one guy and there is a very reasonable chance that I have got no idea what I'm talking about, and a Gothic Remake could end up being one of the greatest games of all time. I suppose that is exactly why THQ Nordic have given us this teaser in the first place, allowing us to make up our own minds. If this looks like something that you'd be into, please do check it out and let the developers know how you feel, because THQ Nordic have been smashing it out of the park recently, so I'm sure that they'll make the right decision in the end, and I personally would like to wish them all the luck in the world. But anyway, once again, that is going to be me done for today. If you are new around here, please do consider slapping that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified of our future uploads. Also, if you like this video, then you can leave it a like, and if you disliked it, there's a button for that too, and all we ask is that you please let us know why you disliked it so we can try and improve it in future. If you've got any questions, suggestions, or feedback, you can leave them down in the comment section below, and I will try and get back to you. Once again, from myself and everybody here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye bye.
No, wait. Don't kill me. Let's talk, please. No, please.